K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
It got up to like $68,000. My heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
Game on, where progressives fear us and rhinos tremble. Welcome to the political jungle. I'm JD.
This is Stacey. No one is safe. No one is spared.
Lock up the children.
And the old folk.
Welcome to the world of liberservative conservatarians.
Lordy, past the 40 and drink it till it's dry. Thursday, October 8th, 2015, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, baby. It's JD and Stacey at Game On that K98 Talk. Everybody right now, you know what to do. Get over to K98Talk.org. Get in that chat room. Say hello to Stacey. Best listening audience in radio. Tonight, folks. Tonight. McCarthy finally gone. Woohoo! Wait, what? Bain is staying? Oof. The Dems go full Germany circa the late 1930s and propose a gun grab. Third grader is king of his castle, baby, and Rupert Murdoch was a black guy. Did he say that? Yeah, he did. Much more. Did. Much more. Thank you for joining Stacey and Stacey here on Game On, here on K98 Talk. I know that we set up the Thursday night show was going to be the pre-record for the Friday. Tomorrow we're going to drop a special show for WNJC. Tonight, Stacey and I want to do a little special show, get a little loose, get some of what we can finally get out here on the podcast before we go over to that WNJC, baby, WNJC. And for those of you who are new to the show or missed last Tuesday's announcement, now, where was Rocky Balboa from, Stacey?
Philadelphia?
He was from that Philadelphia, that dirty bird, baby. That's right. For those of you who missed it, JD, Stacey, Game On, and the show that you have come to love is heading Fridays, 5 p.m. Conservative Drive Time, 1360 a.m. WNJC, covering that South Jersey, Philadelphia, and Northern Delaware for 4.2 million listeners, baby. And this is the night where we go, yo, Stacey, we made it. We did it, Stacey, Adrian.
No, when you played that, I got the most ridiculous promo from video in my head. You and I running up those stairs.
I was
like crawling up them as we got closer to the top.
For the first time in the year that we've been doing this, I just dropped a cough drop out of my mouth into something electronic. So let's hope the show keeps going for the rest of the hour. But yes, we're very excited about tomorrow, 5 p.m. drive time, Fridays, WNJC, 1360 a.m., 4.2 million listeners. For those of you who are new to the show, for those of you who maybe hear us and are down in the Philly, South Jersey way and are wondering what you're getting, you are getting the fastest, sharpest, edgiest conservative talk radio. It's kind of like a Japanese game show meets political talk on acid. Throw in some Metallica, and you got JD and Stacey. Now, for those of you who are concerned that, this is a new show, I'm not sure, we are bona fide. You want to know why? We got people who stalk us. I kid you not.
I'm your number one fan.
Y'all crazy bitch, but you're so good I'm on top of it when I dream.
I hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years.
You're insane.
But for those of you who think it's cool to do that from anybody to K98 Talk, listen, K98 Talk is just going to let one thing talk for ourselves. Oh, I think that pretty much says it, don't you?
I think that just laid it all out in lavender.
Let me tell you something. The best thing in the world is that we are what better audience to hit when we have a stalker than Philadelphia? Hey, yo, listen, you got to listen to the show. Yeah, why you got to listen to the show? I'm going to tell you. I see there's Pats and there's Genos and there's the Eagles. But I'm going to tell you something. I like a show that people freak out. They got crazy people following them. Know what I'm saying? That's Philly. Hey, listen, we know you're listening.
Oh, dear
listen,
Lord.
We know you're listening, and we know you're recording it. Do me a favor. Break that down, send it to all your lawyers 15 times, and then cry yourself into your pillow wondering why you got nothing.
Okay, terrific.
All right, now, for those of you who are new to the show or are fans of the show, we worked up a little WNJC radio.
Our shenanigans are cheeky and fun. Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic. Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really. Evil shenanigans.
I swear to God, I'll pistol whip the next guy that says shenanigans.
Hey, Farva, what's the name of that restaurant you like with all the goofy balls and the mozzarella sticks? You mean shenanigans? Oh. You're talking about shenanigans, right?
I'm getting pretty good with that bleeping there, huh, baby?
Yeah, we have language restrictions starting tomorrow.
Oh, we got all sorts of restrictions. Stacey and I have been
all sorts of restrictions.
Good
God.
Lord. It'll take an army of attorneys to keep us on the air hour by hour.
We may have to have one sitting next to you.
I do right now.
We'll give the attorney the control of the inappropriate bell.
Oh, no. I give up no control of the bell. One more time.
Hey, y'all crazy bitch, but you're so good I'm on top of it when I dream.
All right, take your lithium and join us for halfway through the first segment. So
take
one of the
your lithium and join us.
Oh man, so Stacey and I right now we have just moved on to doing radio 4 days a week, which for those of you who went to public school is almost an entire work week. And honestly, it doesn't matter how politically plugged in you are. It doesn't matter. How much you read and how much you pay attention. It is important for Stacey and I to keep delivering timely things, some of the things you haven't heard, and it's tough sometimes in slow news weeks, busy news weeks. But the gods gave us somewhat of a gift. I'm not sure of the outcome, but they gave us somewhat of a gift today. They did.
A shocker.
Oh my! You have to understand what the shocker is where I come from.
Ah,
has something to do with the.
Giggity, giggity, giggity. giggity, giggity, let's have sex.
And usually a very disturbed look on the person's face when they first get it.
Okie dokie.
No, we're not an okie dokie show. We're a...
Okay, terrific.
There you go.
So why don't you give the audience a little leadoff and recap of what broke this afternoon that I still never got a news alert to my phone like we were speaking about before.
I know. Apparently the liberal MSM doesn't see it as a big deal, and they're kind of having a great time with it. But the heir apparent to the Speaker of the House position decided to take his name out of the race very suddenly, to the chagrin of many and shock of many of his colleagues in the House. So Kevin McCarthy has decided to stay as the GOP majority leader. Should he be I think he has to be reelected to that position. I think all three of them go up. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe not if nobody's running. I didn't read that. I didn't see that detail. But he has decided that he is not the man for the job at this point in the GOP's history, and he actually did not come to the House of Representatives to ever pursue the position of Speaker of the House.
Well, for our audience is a very, very, very hardworking audience. So for those of you who are caught up today and don't have the context, you all know who this is.
Congratulations, you're a mother.
John Boehner, who's been the Speaker of the House, who we have been pounding the table about, has a real primary challenger who looked like he was going to move to a special election when
I know, this is awesome.
Boehner's such a jerk-off. So Boehner has basically tortured and destroyed the Republican caucus with his feckless, weak leadership and just bending over, rolling over, and just being one of these go-along-to-get-along pals. And then the Popa, he coming to the States.
Came, and Boehner cried.
And by the way, the biggest social justice warrior, liberal, progressive, social pope that we ever had. Pope John Paul II, when he was alive, Boehner met him because he's been in Congress since the ships had sails. He's met all sorts of popes and potentates, right? But this Popa who is a walking advertisement for Obama's policies. I don't know why I'm doing this in Italian. He comes to D.C., right, to basically kind of bless and beatify and get the incense stench out of D.C. And Boehner, you know John Boehner. I mean, he's a fifth of McCallum in by noon. So he gets there all weepy, and the Pope come on, and the Pope say, "Jesus love you," and Boehner goes, and the next day gives us all the world's best wet dream conclusion. He's done. He's leaving. Now,
and we all said, "Yay!"
Well, you know how our show with the shenanigans, our shenanigans are cheeky and fun, and their shenanigans are sad and tragic? Let's look at it this way from leadership from the Democrats and the Republicans. We're going to put the Democrats at the top of this list. Their leadership is scary and forceful. Our leadership is weak and weepy. So this should be a gift, except they give us the, hey, dude, Keanu Reeves, Kevin McCarthy surfer guy, who, if you missed Tuesday night's show, said this 2 weeks ago on Sean Hannity's show. This is what happens when politicians go unprepared to friendly venues. McCarthy on Hannity 2 weeks ago.
I knew you'd want to ask it. What you're going to see is a conservative speaker that takes a conservative Congress that puts a strategy to fight and win. And let me give you one example. Everybody thought Hillary Clinton was unbeatable, right? But we put together a Benghazi special committee, a select committee. What are her numbers today? Her numbers are dropping. Why? Because she's untrustable. But no one would have known any of that had happened had we not thought and made that happen.
That's something good. I give you credit for that. I give you credit for sequestration. I'll give you credit where credit is due. But here. Okay,
so let's forgive him. Let's forgive him from the grammatical faux pas on national television of untrustable. That's not even grammatical. You know what? Now I'm speaking like an idiot. But that lunacy led to this Hillary Clinton ad over the weekend.
The Republicans finally admit it.
Republican Kevin McCarthy saying the committee investigating Benghazi and Clinton's emails was created to destroy her candidacy.
Everybody thought Hillary Clinton was unbeatable, right?
Yes.
But we put together a Benghazi special committee.
Listen
what
to
are
this
her
jerk.
numbers today?
Republicans have spent millions attacking Hillary because she's fighting for everything they oppose, from affordable health care to equal pay. She'll never stop fighting for you, and the Republicans know it.
I'm Hillary Clinton, and I approve this message.
Which basically led
2 weeks of Kevin McCarthy with a shovel sticking it in a hole and just digging himself in deeper and deeper and deeper.
Right. But here's where the hubris comes in. Here's where the hubris comes in on our side. First of all, everybody in the Republican caucus had to, after that, just been like,
What is your major malfunction, numbnuts?
Well, and I think, too, somebody who's...
Sir. How about they regret that? You're so ugly you could be a modern art masterpiece.
You cannot not play both gunny clips. Come on.
I'm sorry. They're actually kind of quiet for me tonight, so I have to listen real careful, and that second one's kind of quiet. But, when you take a look at what Trey Gowdy took on taking over the Benghazi committee, and the hearings and the upcoming event, if you will, with Hillary coming up later this month, he has gone out of his way repeatedly to say this is not about politics. This is about getting to the bottom of what actually happened.
This is Trey Gowdy.
And for McCarthy to go out and basically, in a very unwitting and ignorant fashion, throw Trey Gowdy under the bus. And Trey Gowdy, kind of, at least in my perspective, does a pretty good job of straddling the more conservative members of the House, because he's a pretty strict constitutionalist about most things, and still being able to work well with some of the more moderate folks on the other side of the caucus. So he's pretty well liked. And really, Kevin McCarthy just picked him up and threw him right in front of the wheels.
Well, listen, if I was Trey Gowdy, and honestly, the repercussions of this asinine statement are going to ripple because of the way the mainstream media carries the water, especially for Hillary. NBC giving her the that basically hour-long infomercial over the weekend. Did you? All right, let me step back a piece, because one thing we like to do is to deliver nuggets to our audience that they may not ordinarily have known. One of the things that Stacey and I have spoken about here, and we've actually, two of the people that we've mentioned for it specifically are Trey Gowdy and Ben Carson. We've had, off-the-cuff discussions here on the air that, these two men may probably best serve the country in a different place than 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And one of the places that you and I had discussed for each of them was possibly a seat on the Supreme Court. It makes sense for Gowdy because he was an attorney, but what we delivered to the audience is that, basically attorneys and judges sitting on the Supreme Court were mostly a second half of the 20th century phenomenon. There was no requirement that a United States Supreme Court justice be an attorney or a judge. I almost fell over today when I found out, and who taught me this little, the Washington Times. Even more intriguing is that Mr. Boehner could stay even after his retirement from his House seat is effective. There is no requirement that the Speaker of the House be a sitting member. Did you know that?
I did, because people were trying to get Donald Trump to run for it. When Boehner first resigned his position.
Oh, please. The Trumpkins. I'm going to tell you something.
I'm just saying that, yes, that conversation came up that the Speaker of the House does not have to be a sitting member of the House. So, yes, Boehner can continue to serve after the Ohio 8th seat is vacant.
If the Pope, who I confused in my accent to hear, I didn't confuse the Pope for being Italian, but honestly,
the Pope isn't always Italian, JD. No, just kidding.
Thank you very much. If the Pope croaked tomorrow, the Trumpkins would advocate he be the next pontiff. So, them saying he run for Speaker of the House because, he's cool with eminent domain and taking private property. And anybody out there who doesn't know John Locke, first two natural laws, one of them be property? Okay.
All right. Kind of important to us liberal conservatarians. Government can't take my stuff.
Completely important. Hold on. Let me hit the audio on my bubble here. 30 seconds left. Take us out of this segment.
It's going to be very interesting to see who emerges in the next couple of days. Right now, the speaker election is delayed because it is highly doubtful that they will hit the October 29th target.
Oh, wait a minute.
Wait,
Before you talk about the October 29th target, do you know that they're on vacation again next week?
Yeah, they're on vacation again next week, and the week after that, Hillary's there. So
for what? No, seriously, what
Columbus
is the week
Day?
For? What?
Columbus Day or something?
Columbus Day?
Isn't there some kind of isn't there some kind of weird holiday next week that the post office isn't open?
You have kids. You should know this.
Okay, terrific.
Yeah, I don't, though, because they're pretty self-sufficient. They feed themselves now.
Oh, that's great. CPS coming to your house right now. What are you kidding? No, the kids got the 3. We put them in the backyard, and they stop in the house about every 2 years and tell us how they're doing. Something like that?
Something like that.
Told you the show was fast, guys. First segment in the bag. Coming back. The most disgraceful political party the world has ever seen. That is the 2015 Progressive Liberal Democrats have decided not only to take your guns, but to tell everybody in the country they're a scumbag for owning one. You know who's not a scumbag? Anybody that listens to the show. You want to know why? Because they're all right with me and Stacey, JD and Stacey, K98 Talk. The show, Game On, that is so popular. Even Diamond Dave loves us. Ain't that right, Diamond Dave?
One break coming up.
Hey folks, Slickery Trigger here. I'd like to take a minute to tell you about Rebel Road Tactical. As a defensive pistol instructor, I've had the opportunity to observe many different holster designs and configurations. And one thing is clear. Many of my students won't carry a pistol. Or worse, they'll carry one without a holster at all. Holster designers aren't making holsters for normal people. It seems that most holsters are either an expensive piece of gear designed for Rambo or a piece that doesn't fit or function the way real people need it to fit and function. So, like any good Texan, I decided to learn to form kydex and design one myself, one that would fit the needs of average people. The result is the Rebel Road Tactical CRT Modular. The CRT stands for Carry, Range, and Training. Its thin and lightweight curved design minimizes printing and is adjustable to fit just right for superior comfort and function. Check us out after the show at rebelroadconcealed.blogspot.com.
If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan. This is the most transparent administration in history. Not even a smidgen of corruption.
Fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. What difference at this point does it make?
If you got a business, you didn't build that.
The feeling most people get when they hear Barack Obama's speech, I felt this thrill going up my leg. I don't have that too often.
Steady.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. Ricky Robinson, host of America Off the Rails, will tackle the important issues facing America today as he tries to keep America from coming off the track. Get ready to hear the truth every Monday through Friday starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, here on K98Talk.com and the Spark Radio Network.
Welcome to the face. Welcome to the face of the new democracy.
Red Nation Rising brings you Town Hall Radio.
From a single tweet to 3 million a month, our community is a force to be reckoned with on social media.
So don't miss our show, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern on K98 Talk.
Our chat room is our co-host, and you ask the question.
Join us and be heard.
So get ready to sound off on Red Nation Rising Radio. No one else is going to do it for you.
There's a wild, wild whisper blowing in the wind, calling out my name like a long lost friend.
Are you conservative in a world of liberal?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're not alone. Hey, I'm Daniel Stafford, host of the Stafford Voice, and I'd like to invite you to tune in each Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern, where I'll break down the events of the week, and together we'll learn about how they affect you. So, sit back and get ready for the good, the bad, and the ugly of talk radio right here on K98 Talk.
Welcome back to all my political freaks, geeks, and back alley sneaks. JD and Stacey here on Game On that K98 Talk. You know what to do. K98Talk.org chat room. Stacey, say hello. By the way, if you want to know what you're missing in the JD and Stacey K98 Talk chat room, if you want to know what you are missing, okay, this is what our listeners are like.
Lottie Dottie, we like the party.
We had a segment on gun control, and one of our best and longest listeners was advocating they go door to door for the confiscation, and he said, "quote Let's get this party started right." Kids, as we keep saying, starting Friday at 5 p.m., JD and Stacey are going to be on that WNJC 1360 AM, covering South Jersey, Northern Delaware, and now Philadelphia, baby, that 4.2 million listeners. This is what we're going to ask you to do right now. Stacey, what are we going to ask them to do? We are going to ask them. If Stacey's not on mute, we're going to ask them. If
not on mute.
Relatives, friends, family, anybody in South Jersey, Philadelphia, or Northern Delaware, let them know we're going to be up in 1360 AM. They can find us Fridays at 5 p.m. And within the next day or two, we're going to let the listening audience know how to get 1360 if you're not in the broadcast radius. It's either going to be on TuneIn, Stitcher, or something like that. We're going to have the show posted to SoundCloud. Stacey, when people go to Spreaker.com, how do they find our shenanigans?
They go to hashtag JD and Stacey.
That's right. And, guys, we're not just here Thursday nights at 9 p.m., Friday, 5 p.m. WNJC, like we said, Sundays 11 a.m. here on K98 Talk with that Bloody Marys and broadsheets, baby. Yo, with a mainstream media hangover. Tuesday nights again, 10 p.m. Game On. And then I have to reach out and find out either this weekend or next. JD's finally going to be on that episode 4 of the Flipside Show with Michael Loftus, baby. Get to that flipsideshow.com. Get the channel finder. If your cable provider does not carry it, what does they do?
They have to call them and say, we want the Flipside Show now.
That's right. And if they start telling you they can't, you start telling them. And for those of you who have Univision, just tell them. Arriba!
I don't see Michael's show going up on Univision.
¿Por qué?
No.
You know nothing. Don't you hear everybody say we got to let the Dreamer? Because they're going to be big conservative votes, which is why the Democratic Party and the progressives are pushing anybody who can run, jump, or swim over here. Oh my God, I cannot tell the Mexican Summer Olympics joke.
No, you cannot. But I am not discussing immigration and Michael Loftus in the same time frame after the backdoor discussion we had live on the radio. So just stop.
The backdoor discussion? This discussion?
Giggity, 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 let's have sex.
No?
I could not believe. Because what you do is awful enough that our guest did it. That's a comfortable guest. We make him feel right at home here.
You want to know what, though? And that's another thing the listening audience is going to find out in Philadelphia. The guests love Stacey, and they hate JD. Okay, so not to be out scumbagged, the Democratic Party has decided to stand on the body of 9 freshly murdered Americans in what is what? A tragedy. How are these people killed? Not by guns.
It was only a tragedy for the first 30 seconds of Obama's speech.
No. 1 week after 9 people were shot and killed at Umpqua Community College in Roseburg, Oregon, senators announced measures meant to improve the background check system and prevent, which, by the way, and if you're in the chat room, ask Slick. That is such a misnomer and nonsense. To improve the background check system and prevent people who are not allowed to buy guns from obtaining them illegally. First paragraph of what the Democrats want to do. They basically want to stop people from getting guns illegally. Right? Now, that sounds fantastic, doesn't it, Stacey? Except that the path they're
people
choosing
who want to get them illegally still will.
Well, except that the Democrats' path to accomplish this is to basically make them illegal for everybody. That's what you miss. And then buried in these 47 articles that we have for this segment, there were 3 words that jumped out at me as to who was front and center at this on the steps of the Capitol.
Lizzie.
Liberal icon Elizabeth Warren.
What was really interesting about that, though, they were trying to take some of the edge off because who was standing next to her?
Bernie Sanders.
Who has basically been kind of more pro-2A than you would expect a complete progressive socialist to be. Because he comes from New Hampshire.
I read that, and I'm not sure about that. I think that when I first read that, I said, wow, that's surprising. As I went a little deeper, what the Clinton campaign is doing, because, look, we're talking about the Clintons and Democrats. So
this is the only place Clinton is further left than Bernie Sanders.
Facts be damned, this be damned, that be damned. Mm-hmm. The Empress of Chappaqua, you do not misunderstand. Do not misunderstand how scary this woman is. She is literally. And if you don't believe me, so the Clinton campaign is basically selling that Bernie Sanders, I want you to think about this, kids. Personally avowed socialist, Democratic socialist, for Bernie's credit, is a NRA gun-toting big-time supporter. I said, wow, I didn't know that, but you want to make sense of his state. No, he has actually voted for every single gun control bill from the assault rifle ban on that has come down the pike, except they're killing him for not voting. I think he voted against the Brady bill in 95. That is what they're hitting him again. Okay, that's what they're hitting Uncle Bernie with. But this,
and I think there was one other he voted against in 2005, but I don't have it in my notes.
If it was 2005, it was probably the extension of the assault weapons ban from 94. However, not to be outclassed, the White House has decided this is a hill to stand on politic on. No.
Well, to die on if he does an executive order.
That's
that's just going to end up in court and everything else.
All right. And what has the administration been squawking about this week?
The administration has been squawking about universal background checks and the same things that have been debunked and taken out of the discussion for anybody who knows something about guns for years. So we're going to close the gun show loophole. There is no gun show loophole. There is a private sale loophole.
Thank you.
But, the 72-hour background check. So if they can't get your background check in 72 hours, they can't keep you from getting a gun. They want to stop that. So now we're going to have a federal background check that takes, 6 months.
Now, hold on a second. With that 72-hour background check, okay, for the heavy lifting the Democrats make this sound like, all right? I had to call a major payment processor earlier in the week, and I was having some problems with making a payment online, and they needed to verify who I was. They reached back and asked questions and combinations and algorithms, of things that I had to think back, things that I never thought you'd be able to find. If that company could do that in real time and me getting on the phone, you're telling me we can't do a 72-hour background check in this country? Why don't they have the stories of the abused spouses or the abused partners who come in, or people who are stalked and harassed and come in and need a firearm for their protection, and when they have these extended waiting periods that are nothing more than political, end up getting shot and killed before they have the opportunity to protect themselves? But the scary part about this is Obama is leaving and has already imprinted on this country an extra-constitutional legacy. Folks, I know people that listen to the show heard me say this weeks ago. Hillary Clinton is so self-possessed in just wanting to be president, retaining power, and becoming the Empress of Chappaqua nationwide. She will make Barack Obama constitutionally look like Mark Levin. And if you don't believe me, from Fox News Politics, Democratic presidential frontrunner Hillary Clinton on Monday proposed tighter gun control measures, included expanding background checks, and suggested that if elected, she would use executive powers to achieve her goals. Quote, I want to push hard to get more sensible restraints, Clinton said on NBC's Today Show. That was part of the hour-long infomercial. Quote, I want to work with Congress, but I will look at ways as president. That is code for the pen and the phone. What I don't understand, do you have any idea why her plan to unveil extra-constitutional executive overreaching orders, and remember, folks, for those of you who want to use the Googles and LexisNexis, The Supreme Court has codified your Second Amendment right in the Heller decision. But she's going to unveil her gun grab plans in New Hampshire. New Hampshire is the live free or die state, no?
And they like their guns. Vermont and New Hampshire, despite some of their liberal lunacy and, different ideas, you're not going to get far with saying, I want your guns.
No, but I don't understand you know what it might be? There was da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay. So Kankles had a quote. This is last week when she was speaking about the Umpqua College shooting. Quote, we need to make every politician who sides with the NRA to look in the eyes of parents whose kids have been murdered. The GOP counts on a dedicated group that scares politicians and says, we will vote against you. Keep in mind, this is last week. So, she goes on, we will take them on. She ends the quote by saying, we took them on in the 90s. We're going to take them on again. What kind of Rube Goldberg bubble time warp is this campaign living in? When they have to keep
they've been living in
this
1992 since the campaign started.
Wait a second.
Part of her comments, she wants to eliminate the protections for gun manufacturers so they can be held liable when a gun is used for nefarious purposes. Does that mean we're going to hold spoon manufacturers responsible for Rosie O'Donnell?
Thank you, but it gets worse.
What?
The way that she is going to do this is to bankrupt the gun manufacturers, because if you read deeper into her proposals that she's relayed so far, she is going to extend that liability of the manufacturer to include mass shootings. Now, never forget who the secular progressive Democratic Party is. They are the ones that are not just going to go after the gun manufacturer, they're going to go after the bullet manufacturer. And you mark my words that just like Class 1 narcotics laws, there will be sentencing in line with these new asinine executive orders that I guarantee you go per bullet. So if you kill Bob, you get life plus 10 years for every bullet. So if you have 9, 10 dead people, you open up the liability to the manufacturer. And don't forget, the Democrats never want to speak about the mentally ill. The mentally ill who are protected with their privacy from HIPAA laws. The mentally ill that are walking our streets because the secular progressive Democratic Party said it was an anathema and we must move forward. And you just don't take people like this and you lock them away. We are not talking about taking this and turning it into the man in the iron mask. But when we were all in kindergarten, you had a checkbox on your report card. Gets along well and plays well with others. There are certain people that are not curable, that if you leave out in society, unchecked, unmonitored, they're going to do things like this. Why?
Because they're crazy.
But thank you. That's life. That's the law of averages. Speaking of that, we know who's still listening.
I'm your number one fan.
But I mean, I watched...
Y'all crazy bitch, but you...
No, you know where they got to be? Okay, this clip right here comes from...
I hate this place. Nothing works here. The medications don't work. I've been here for 7 years.
But no, we can't do that, right?
No, but, I watched a great interview with Charles Cook, and a liberal gun grabby type was on the other side, and it was on CNN, and, not probably Charles's favorite place to sit. But, if you want to read a great article on some of the stuff that's going on and some of the talk that's going on right now, Charles actually put on a great article today at NRO regarding some of the Democratic proposals and what they really mean.
Excellent article.
For one thing, there is no such thing as an assault weapon. It's a meaningless term. What that means to a liberal is those scary-looking guns, okay? But, what he said is this is a complex problem, and every time something bad happens, okay, liberals want to do something. Doesn't matter if it's right, and nothing they're proposing it would have stopped what happened in Oregon. And he keeps pointing this out, and they keep saying, so you don't want to do anything? No, it's not that we don't want to do anything. Let's figure out why the people are doing these things, because there are millions and millions and millions of gun owners who don't. And what is happening with this rhetoric that is going on the left, it is really emboldening the gun sense folks. And if you didn't see the video that someone made of Dana Lesh for her NRA commercial, this is the kind of where somebody actually mapped in her picking up a handgun and shooting herself in the head during the course of the commercial. It was awful. It was graphic. It was terrible. And she's dealing with that through the legal system and other channels. But the folks who want guns taken away because they truly believe it makes the world safer are being emboldened by this rhetoric. And, I'm sorry, as a mom, as a female with a family and a home, nobody gets to tell me how I protect my castle.
No, not
at
all.
My kids.
And honestly, it's a really good. It's a few page read, but it's definitely worth it. It's a national review. I think October. I printed it out the 8th. It's either today or yesterday. Charles C.W. Cook. It's called "Hillary and Company Fight a Phony War on Gun Violence." Before we punch out, one of our longtime listeners, Jade, just made a fantastic point. Fantastic point in the chat room. I want to get this fast. There was a Violence Policy Center guy named Josh Sugarman, and basically this is his quote on how they were going to literally fool the American public about assault weapons. Quote, assault weapons, just like armor-piercing bullets, machine guns, and plastic firearms are a new topic. The weapon's menacing looks, coupled with the public's confusion over fully automatic machine guns versus semi-automatic assault weapons, anything that looks like a machine gun is assumed to be a machine gun, can only increase the chance of public support for restrictions on these weapons. In addition, few people can envision a practical use for these weapons, and if you don't believe that these people are completely full of you had to check out the 12 visible and God knows how many dozen of others armed guards surrounding the Progressive Caucus on the steps of the Capitol, baby, while they were praising to the skies about gun violence. These people sicken me. Chuck Schumer walks around New York City with armed protection in a place where if you had a rock in your pocket, they'd lock you up. Damn it, girl, this is the fastest hour in radio. Woo! Coming out to close up the show, coming into the 10 o'clock hour, we got a third grader who's menacing everybody. Rupert Murdoch honestly should not speak about or to black people anymore. And just like Tuesday, I did not print out the third one. You got to love me anyway, Stace. JD and Stacey, K98 Talk, coming back.
Hey everybody, this is Jason, host of According to Me. I'd like to invite you to check out my show. It's a 2-hour show that lasts 60 minutes in...
Listen, I hate to interrupt, but one thing I can do is read off a script. Just say, let me be clear a lot. It works.
President Obama, I can handle this. It's a radio promo. I'm not green. I've done this before.
Did someone say green?
Now, Al Gore is here. Listen, I'm just trying to record a radio promo. Do you mind?
Now, do you say good things about me on the show?
No, not at all. But if it makes you feel any better, I rip on Republicans just as much.
The AM radio frequencies give off very high levels of radiation.
Look, my show is on the internet, which you invented. Can I just do my promo?
I got a pen. I can veto that, you know.
I know you got a pen. It's not a law. It's a radio promo. Listen, just listen to my show. Barack Obama and Al Gore hate it, so you're going to love it.
Here's an executive order. Don't listen to his show. He doesn't like me. He's racist. And he doesn't recycle either.
That's it. I'm done. It's According to Me, Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on K98 Talk.
Wondering why you're up early with us on a Sunday morning making a cocktail? News lately got you drinking? Hung over from the mainstream media by Sunday? We are, and we got you covered.
We sure do. We got your hangover cure for those weekly news blues. So sit back, top off your mimosa, and add some Baileys to that coffee.
Take a match to your copy of the New York Times. Light, funny, and oh yeah, news with booze.
And a lot of laughter.
Welcome to Bloody Marys and Broadsheets. If it's Sunday, it's Bloody Marys and Broadsheets.
We're your cure from your weekly news hangover.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members or their families, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to keep them secure for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Join us at findwwp.org.
K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
Wadadoodle, it's the Greaseman. Welcome you back to JD and Stacey here in K98. Anybody who doesn't know who the Greaseman is has to go check him out. Everybody in the sound of my voice, K98talk.org, chat room, Stacey, smart people. Tuesday 10, Thursday 9, Friday 5, WN, JC 1360 AM, baby. Sunday 11 AM, Bloody Marys and Broadsheets. Spreaker.com, Stacey. How do you get there?
JD and Stacey.
Hashtag JD and Stacey, hashtag JDANDSTACEY on that Spreakers.com, baby. JD going to be on the Flipside show. World is burning. There's a cruise coming up. I got to do Rick. Oh, and join me again tomorrow, kids. I am going to be riding dirty. Going to be riding in that guest chair for that Ricky Ticky Tavi Rick Robinson on that America Off the Rails. And then JD is going to eat a shotgun or stick a hose in the tailpipe of the car in the garage because this is the week from hell that won't stop. Oh, God. It's been a hell of a week, has it not?
Oh, yeah. Not only I've had my own hell of a week, I've had to deal with your hell of a week.
The medications don't work.
You're cranky when you don't sleep.
Yeah, but like I don't deal. Hold on a second. You want to know what? I will say this to the audience because you are right about that. I have not been in your hip pocket riding this other nonsense through with you all the day. Complete days consumed by this. Come on, lady. One for all and all for one. In for a penny, in for a pound. Right?
All right. Yeah.
All right. Now,
I just want you to sleep sometime before Sunday.
Now, for all of the people in Philadelphia, this is the one thing about me that's going to piss you off. One more time,
Unless
baby.
they're on tonight, I don't want to hear it.
Then get your own soundboard and deal with it. Ron, give us an update in the chat room. Last I saw it was Indy up 13-0 over the Texans at the half with the 84-year-old Matt Hasselbeck whipping out football. Yay, old guys. So, I honestly think we could have titled today's show Everyone's a Hypocrite, because you had major hypocrisy in segment one with the way that the GOP is trying to figure out the speaker election. And for those of you, like myself, like Stacey, who are happy that McCarthy's out and it looks like Boehner is going to go, Stacey and I do not lie to our audience. You need to prepare yourself for the fact, especially in an election year, that this honestly could be an ungovernable caucus. I am not sure. I have not come down in my head on whether or not that is a good thing or a bad thing. I think macro, it's a good thing. I think micro, in a short run, it's a bad thing. You?
You know, I think the caucus is designated as ungovernable by people who wish it would be that way. I think, whoever goes to the speaker chair is going to have to take some of the bigger concerns of that conservative caucus and just say, okay, things like XIM Bank, things like,
Okay, terrific.
Other pieces of legislation that they hold, fairly sacred. We should not be doing these things. And they're going to have to make some concessions away from the Democratic caucus. And that's the only way somebody's going to be able to bring that chamber together.
Ooh, you know what we should start on the show next week? A countdown.
Congratulations. You're a mother.
No, but we should start a countdown until he is permanently at the bar. I mean, he's got to leave at some point or another. Cirrhosis is going to kill him. All right, segment 3. This story, I want to read this. I have to read the CBS story all the way through because I just read it for the first time here during the second break, and
that's what we call preparation, kids.
Well, yeah. Says the one who tweets and mutes herself on most of the shows. Parents, students say third grader terrorizing East Bay Elementary School. I was like, oh my God, the headline on Drudge, kid has it shut down. I want you to listen. I want you to listen to what has happened to the once great United States. Now, all of us, whether public,
this is the Bay Area.
It doesn't matter. This is a microcosm. This is going on everywhere. Whether you were in public, private, or parochial school. CBS San Francisco, as Stacey said, in Looney Tunes, California. Some parents at an elementary school in the Contra Costa County have stopped sending their kids to class because they say the school has become dangerous. Why? Falling roofs? Earthquakes? No. Third grader. Students and parents at Holy Jesus, did you just realize that the name of this school is Mount Devil Elementary School?
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see this? Students and parents at Mount Diablo Elementary School in Clayton say one child is terrorizing the entire school. He punched someone in the stomach, and then he ran into the bathroom and locked the door, and then he threw the trash can at the bathroom door, students said. Chantel says the boy even threw rocks and other things at students and teachers. It makes me really scared because sometimes he runs around the whole school, and if he sees you looking at him, he'll run up and scream in your face. Parents say the disruptive and violent behavior has forced the principal to lock down all classrooms on campus a few times. Recently, Monday, I am not going to finish this. Stacey, that is a description of third graders.
Well, see, that's one of the kids we should be following and probably not allowed to buy a gun someday. But
he's going to grow up to be president.
I mean, first of all, it is California, and so his parents probably think this is him want to stifle his creativity. But, I remember when I was a third grader, you sat in your chair, 2 feet on the floor, eyes to the front, unless it was recess. And when you went to recess, you could run around and scream. That was okay. All right. Now we have recess counselors. I'm not even lying. This is also going on in California. We have recess counselors that counsel the children to say things during kickball, not like you're out. Instead, they're taught to say, nice try.
Wait. What's a recess? What? Wait, rewind that. What?
There is a classification of professionals called recess counselors, and they come out and teach the children how to talk to each other so no one's self-esteem is damaged during recess.
When I was a third grader, if this recess counselor came up to me, I would just literally be like,
oh, that woman. Got a mouth like an outboard motor. All the time. Put, 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 put,
I mean, Christ on the cross. Do you know what they would have done to me in third grade? All right. He punched someone in the stomach, then ran into the bathroom and locked the door. And then he
What would your parents have done to you?
Thank you. This is where I'm going with this. And then he threw the trash can at the bathroom door. When JD was in them third grades, maybe back in that 1827, when that happened, somebody went and got all the gym teachers, the shop teacher, and the youngest teacher in the building who was a male who was on a sports scholarship somewhere. They kicked the door in and said, are you out of your effing mind? And dragged the kid out and called his parents. If those parents were mine, I then sat there after they gave me the what for, waiting for my father to get there and beat me halfway to death in front of the public. I mean, consequences, no?
Absolutely. Teachers were never wrong.
All right, we got a minute and 15 seconds.
And I'm like, I've been the weirdest parents in my children's educational career because I back up the teacher.
You're the weirdest thing everywhere.
I actually used to let my kids go outside and play. Other parents thought it was scandalous.
Oh my God! Yeah, if I got to hear about play dates again, I'm going to kill myself. Soon there's going to be Tinder for second graders. Rupert Murdoch, Ben Carson would be a quote. Jesus God, I'm going to tell you something right now. If you're not from this country and you're a billionaire, you really shouldn't speak to the press that much. Rupert Murdoch really said that Ben Carson would be a real black president, mate. The 21st Century Fox executive chairman took to Twitter on Wednesday to get. Now, look, I can sit here and call Barack Obama the political equivalent of a Section 8 president. If you are a billionaire who owns Fox News, you can't. Ben and Candy Carson, terrific, Murdoch wrote about the candidate and his wife. Quote, what about a real black president who can properly address the racial divide and what else? We have 20 seconds. Help me out with how just insane people on our side are.
I read that quote and all I could really do was laugh because it actually started an exchange between DeRay McKesson and Piers Morgan today that was in English, but I had no clue what they were saying.
Oh, my God. Listen, we want to thank...
About loving your whiteness, your blackness, your power, your privilege. I'm like, oh, my God, when is it going to stop?
I got to tell you something. Rupert Murdoch would have better served himself just jumping in there and being like...
Hey, where are the white women at?
We want to thank everybody for making the fastest growing, fastest rising, sharpest, edgiest, conservative radio show in the country. Game On with JD and Stacey, such a success. Thank you for getting us over to that WNJC 1360 AM in Philadelphia, where people there are going to know what it means when I lean into the microphone and I go, baby, you got them keys?
I got those keys.
Woo!
Get me out of here.
Tell the nice folks what's going on between now and Sunday.
Oh, between now and Sunday, God only knows. But you can find me on the Twitter at ScoutFire. You can find me on Facebook at Stacey Lennox. And who knows what I'll be saying over the next couple days.
And one of our best old-time listeners, the Dread Pirate Ron, has just informed us 2 seconds left to before halftime. It's 13-0 effing Indy. Game On JD and the Twitters, alleyways, places I shouldn't be if I live through it, kids. We'll see you tomorrow.
I'm looking for you, you Occupy freaks with your glitter bombs. Bring it on! Bring on the glitter. Everything has changed. Everything has changed in the last few years. Conservatives used to take it, and we're not taking it anymore.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. And then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-513-6154. That's 1-800-513-6154. Again, 1-800-513-6154. Call now.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Giggity, 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 let's have sex.